Once upon a time there was a king in the country of Magda whose name was Chandrasena Maharaja. Rajguru Shiv Shankara Shastri in his court was a great devotee of Mahadev. Chandrasena Maharaja was very grumpy. On the occasion of the king's birthday, the Rajguru has performed a puja in the Shiva temple of the village for the glory of the king and informed that the king will come tomorrow for the puja. But the king did not come on time during the puja and went to another dance event. For the coming of the king, the people of the town, Acharyas and Rajguru are tired of waiting and perform Mahamangala Arti as per the daily tradition of the temple and close the temple doors. After closing the door of the temple, a message comes from the royal guard that the king will arrive at the temple in a few moments. Raja comes to the temple and gets angry that the door of the temple has been closed and asks the temple priest to open the door and perform puja for the king once again. Then the Rajguru informs the king that it is against tradition to open the door of the temple once again after the Mahamangala Arti puja of the temple. The enraged king goes beyond the royal decree and orders the temple priests to be punished with severe imprisonment. Rajguru interrupts the king and says that the temple priest is not at fault in this. He has done every work as per my order, so you should give me the punishment. King is shocked and says, till now you are the cause of my glory and success, and he asks how right it is that you are now bringing me into disrepute in this matter. Then the royal gurus in the king's fame and disfavor are irrelevant here because it is tradition to worship the god at the right time. Again the angry king orders the king of this country to close the door of this temple which is not taken for worship forever. Angered by the king's words, the king's guru asks how the people can have darshan of the god if the temple doors are closed forever. The king then asked the king's guru that there is no place for this god except this temple. Rajguru replied that there is no place without this god, and like water in a spring, like butter in milk, God is said to be formless in the world. King asks, according to you, God is everywhere in the world, then what is the purpose of seeing the stone god in this temple? Guru answering the king's question, even if the cow's body is full of milk, it can only be obtained from the udder. Also, even though God's power is everywhere in the world, it comes to our awareness only in these holy temples. But Guru's answer was not so adequate for the king. If you give a reasonable answer to the question I am asking, I will also believe in the same God you believe in and will open the doors of the temple with my own hands. The first question is, where is God? The second question is, in which direction is God looking? The third question is, what God is doing now? The king gives the Guru a day to answer the question and instructs the Guru to come to the royal assembly and give the answer. The Guru is anxious to answer the king's difficult question and gets feverish. Then Guru's grandson Vidyapati comes to Guru and says that I will go to Raja Sabha and inform the king about your unwellness. Then Guru says to Vidyapati that you are only an 8-year-old boy and you should not go because you do not know the traditions of Raj Sabha. Then Vidyapati appeals to the Guru and says that he will protect the honor of the Raja Sabha by telling the king about your ill health. The king saw the Guru's absence in the Raj Sabha and inquired from the ministers why the Guru had not come to the Raj Sabha. Meanwhile, a message comes to the king from the royal soldiers that Guru's grandson Vidyapati is waiting outside the Rajya Sabha to meet the king. Then the king instructs Vidyapati to come to the royal assembly. Rajadhiraja, Raja Marthanda, Raja Parmeshwara, Raja Kulthilka, Shri Shri Chandrasena Maharajrige your Guru's grandson Vidyapati's Prema Pranams. Then Vidyapati says that I have come to inform the matter because Guru's health is not good. Then the king told the Guru's grandson that we want answers from your guru to the questions we asked yesterday. Then the king says that the entire Rajya Sabha was anxiously waiting to get answers from our guru to the questions we asked yesterday. Then Guru's grandson Vidyapati says, I will try to answer your question. Then the king smiles and asks if you can answer such a difficult question. The Guru's grandson tells the king that a big rock can be hit with a small leaven, so he says that intellect and strength are not equal to greater or lesser. The king appreciates the boy's answer but with one proviso. He says we should test your intelligence before answering the question. To that the boy says, I am ready for your exam. Questions come one by one from Rajya Sabha leaders. First question comes from minister who makes the sun rise. Answered by Vidyapati is Brahma. The second question is what is more than earth? The answer is mother. Third question, what is higher than the sky? Father. Fourth question, who is selfless? Shiva. The fifth question is what is eternal? Policy. The sixth question is what is impermanent? Nidhi. Question 7, what is strange? Vidhi. Eighth question, what is illustrated? Jivna. Question 9, what is beautiful? Chandra. The 10th question is what is true? Satya Harishchandra. The 11th question is for language. Bharti. The king happily admires the Guru's grandson's wisdom and says that one should bow to your wisdom and asks the king's first question. Where is God? To answer the king's first question, the Guru's grandson makes a request to the king asking him to bring a live pigeon and a sword. The king asks for what purpose he needs the pigeon and the sword. To which the Guru's grandson says that to answer your first question first I will sacrifice a pigeon and then I will answer your question. Then the king angrily says that it is not allowed to sacrifice a pigeon in front of me in this royal assembly, it is life torture and a heinous sin. Guru's grandson replied with a smile, do you know the reason why your mind was disturbed after hearing my words about sacrificing a pigeon? This is because of the compassion in your heart. That mercy is called God, and without mercy no creature has been created in the world. In that form he says that God resides in everyone's heart. Hearing the Guru's grandson's answer, the king happily asks a second question. The king's second question was which direction God was looking at now. Answering the question, the Guru's grandson asks the king in which direction such a lamp lit in front of you is shining. To which the king thinks for a while and says that the light of the lamp is shining in all directions. Guru's grandson replies that God is also seeing in all directions. Then the king cheerfully asks his third question, what is God doing now? Guru's grandson asks that this is a serious question and if I have to answer it, please help me. The king happily agrees to that. He says that to answer your third question, I have to sit on your throne and give the answer. Then the Raj Sabha leaders do not agree to this. Then the king intervenes and says that we have asked a question and our first duty is to provide the necessary facilities to answer it. The king happily gave up his throne to the Guru's grandson. Sitting on the throne, the Guru's grandson issues an order. Distribute the grain that is in our storehouse to the poor people and distribute all the wealth that is in the storehouse equally to all citizens. Open the palace door and give shelter to the homeless. The entire royal assembly including the king opposes this order. The Guru's grandson issues an order to the army commanders that Chandrasena and all the important leaders who have betrayed should be immediately arrested and put on a fast for a month. Guru's grandson asks in Raj Sabha if any of you object to this order. After a while the Guru's grandson smiled and said, have you seen this magic? Like a king in a single moment, you are standing as a common citizen, and as a common boy I am the king of this country. Now do you know what God is doing now? It says that if God wills, even a beggar can become a king, and if God chooses, a king can also become a beggar. And the Guru's grandson asks for forgiveness from the king and gives up the throne to the king. When the king realizes his mistake, he apologizes to the Guru's grandson and begs with folded hands in the assembly that what a wonderful thing has been explained so simply, and that I have shown man that his ego is his enemy, and that he will open the door of the temple immediately. Dear viewers, if you like the video, please do subscribe, like and comment to the channel for more videos. And please mention in the comment box if you required part 2 of the same story. Which is very interesting. Thank you.